What's going on, students who never procrastinate? My name's Ms. Sorensen, and I'm ready to get started on video 12 and sets. Let's do this. All right, what is a set? A set is a collection of unique objects. Here, objects can be things like people in a class, schools in a Pac-12, it could be numbers, it could be colors. And notice what we have here is we have an uppercase letter, and that designates something in terms of the set. Usually it's the name. And then we've got an equal sign, then we've got brackets starting and ending our set, and then we have numbers in the middle. In my second set here, notice that we have a different letter for that set name, and we don't have numbers anymore, we have actual objects, things like oranges, pears, grapes, etc. Now, why do you think that this one right here is not a valid set? If you said it was because there are two number twos, you're absolutely correct. You cannot have repeats in your set, and that's really important when we get into more complicated problems with these. All right, what is the set of all rolls in a die? Well, let's go ahead and do D for die. Uppercase, of course, and we can obviously roll a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, and a 6. Set of all possible area codes in Washington. I'm going to use the letter A for area codes, and it looks like we've got a 509, 360, 564, 253, 425, 360, and a 206. I think I got them all. Set of all primary colors. I think I want to do C for colors. And do you know those? Red. What else? Yellow and blue. Did you get it right? All right, what about the possible flips of a coin? I think I'm going to do F for flips. And I've got, what's in there? Oh, you've got heads and you've got tails. Okay, so those are sets. All right, what is a union? A union of two sets denoted, meaning labeled, A union B. Okay, we're going to actually pronounce this as union, not you. A union B is the set of all elements in either A or B or both. So when A and B are events, A union B means that events A or B or both occur. And the best way to remember this is the word union. What does union mean? Well, if you think about back when gay marriage was trying to get into the scene, or was trying to get legalized, instead what they had at the time was civil unions. A civil union was when two people were trying to get together or be put together. So I want you to think of this as being put together. Just like a civil union, put two people together. That's what union does. All right, so if A is 1, 3, and 5, and B is 1, 2, and 3, that means that A and A union B needs to be everything together. Put everything together. So if there is a 1 in A, there better be a 1 in A union B. If there's a 3 in A, there better be a 3 in A union B. If there's a 5 in A, there better be a 5 in A union B. Oh, there's a 1 in B. Oh, it's already in there. Awesome. We need a 2. Oh, we need to put in a 2. And then we also need to make sure there's a 3. Well, it's already in there, so we're good to go. Sorry about that. Okay, so just make sure that if it's in both, right? We had a couple situations where, for example, 1 was in A and 1 was in B. And remember, we want to include the boths, but we only want to include it one time or else it's not considered a set. So really, A union B is just putting everything together. If it's in A, put it in. If it's in B, put it in. If it's in both, put it in. Okay, now let's talk about intersection. The intersection of two sets A and B is denoted A intersect B. So that's how I want you to read this. Intersect. That didn't really look good. try that again. Intersect. So the intersection of two sets A and B denoted A intersect B is the set of all elements in both A and B. And the way that I remember this is by changing that N, actually it's not an N, but it looks like it, doesn't it, into the word A, N, D. Thinking, okay, I want to be in A and I want to be in B. So it has to be in both because it has to be in A and in B. All right, let's go ahead and do this problem. So if I want A intersect B, it has to be in both. Well, which numbers are in both? It looks like we have a 1 that's in both, and we've got a 3, and that's it. So 1 and 3 are the only two numbers in our set. Now, what happens if you have two sets that have nothing in common? Okay, well that would be a disjoint set, meaning that they're not joined at all. An example of that, okay, might be, let's say R is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Maybe that stands for, I don't know, let's say the numbers that you roll on a die or something. And then let's do set A equals the age of the students in our classroom, which are maybe 15, 17, and 18. Sorry if I missed you. So if I did R intersect A, I'm saying what numbers are in common. Well, there's no numbers in common. And so you wouldn't say 0 because that's actually a number. You would actually have this symbol right here, which means empty set, which means there's nothing in that set. It's disjoint because if we were to draw those two sets, they would not be joined together. All right, let's do a quick summary here, and I'm going to use my highlighter to do that. If you have colored pencils, I'd kind of pause this video and go grab them. We're definitely going to need them. All right, both events A and B happen, so I'm looking for A intersect B. Where would that be? Well, it has to happen in both. So where would that be in our picture? If you said the middle, you are absolutely correct. So go ahead and get that in there. I'm having trouble doing that. It was just a bit delayed. All right, there we go. What about A union B? So notice it has to be in either A, or it has to be in B, or it has to be in both. So that's putting A and B together, and if it's in both, we keep that too. So A union B is going to be everything inside of here. So just give me a second to highlight that. I'm just a little bit delayed from what I do. Sorry it's not perfect, but you get the idea. Okay, so that's my A union B, is everything inside A, everything inside B, and everything inside both. Let's talk about the complement. The complement of a set A is the set of all elements not in A. And there's two ways that we can denote this, or we can notate, or we can talk about this. The first is by saying a complement, or we could do a complement. In my class, I like to use this one better. I just prefer it. And basically, we're talking about being not in A. All right, so what would that look like? Maybe pause your video and try to shade that in. But not in A would actually be everything on the outside of A. Okay, so I'm going to highlight everything that's not in A. Most definitely not perfect, but you definitely get the idea. So everything that I have highlighted in yellow is not an A. Right, B's not an A. Number 5's not an A. It's everything outside. All right. Sorry, I can't get everything done. I'm trying. It's just not. Oop. Uh-oh. We got a problem. guess I'm gonna stop my video and, nope, oh, it came back. Okay, we're good, thank goodness. All right, moving forward here. I guess I'm getting a little too excited with that shading. All right, here's our summary. A complement is gonna be everything outside A. And this one we've yet to do yet, but think about what A union B is. A union B is gonna be everything inside A, everything inside B, and everything inside both. So the complement of that, notice the complement right there, is going to be everything not in the yellow that I just shaded. So it's going to be that pink. All right, and I know these get a little bit tricky. All right, let's think about if we were to survey the class. All right, and I'd ask the whole class, hey, do you have an iPhone? Hey, do you have Verizon? Do you have both? Or do you not have an iPhone? Or, you know, we're trying to figure out where people belong in this. So I'm going to say that I surveyed the class, and I know this may not be accurate, but let's say Che is right here. He has an iPhone, but he does not have Verizon. Let's say Brenda also has an iPhone, but not Verizon. And let's say Nate has an iPhone, but not Verizon. Let's say Parker, he has Verizon, but he has a different phone other than an iPhone, maybe an Android or something. And same thing with Nadia. Let's say Nadia has Verizon, but she's got an Android as well. In the middle, we've got Abe, Braden, and we've got John. These are the people that have both an iPhone and Verizon. Now you might notice that U stands for a universal set, which means everyone that's not listed in A and B. So Evelyn might be in this set, and we'll talk about what that means in a second. I have not listed Connor. I've not listed Cody, Rowan. Who else am I missing? Malachi, Rihanna. So what are these people, the ones in that light yellow? They represent the people that don't have an iPhone and don't have Verizon, but they're still in that set of people that we're considering. All right, I'm going to write down a few problems here, and I want you to think about what they would be. A union B, A intersect B, A union B complement, union, A intersect B, whoa, and A complement, union, B complement. All right, pause the video and see if you can figure out the names for each person. All right, you're back. Let's make sure that you're getting this right. So the first one is A union B. So you should have said Che, Brenda, Nate, Abe, Braden, John, Parker, and Nadia, because those are all in both A and B and both. Remember, union stands for putting everything together that's in A and in B. Oh no. I got too fancy, you guys. All right. Just when I thought I was an expert, this was Che, Brenda, Nate, John, and I think that was it. All right. So we've got that one done. A intersect B is just going to be these students right here. Okay, those are the students who are in the intersection. All right, now let's talk about A union B complement. Well, A union B is actually going to be everything that's inside here. So the complement is going to be everyone that's outside what I just highlighted. So we're really talking about Connor, Cody, Rowan, Malachi, Rihanna, and Evelyn. So that's for this part right here. And now we've got a union A intersect B. Well, A intersect B is this student, and that student. So we're putting all those students together, and your answer would be the students that I've highlighted in yellow. Okay, let's try this last one, A complement, union B complement. All right, these are a little tricky, but we can do it. So A complement is going to be everything not in A. Well, who's not in A? Rihanna's not in A, Evelyn's not in A, Connor's not in A, Cody's not an A, Rowan's not an A, Malachi's not an A, Parker's not an A, Nadia's not an A. Everyone else is an A. We're trying to union that with B complement. Those are the people that are not in B. Well, who's not in B? Well, we've got Chay's not in B, Brenda's not in B, and Nate's not in B. And so basically, we would have all of these people as my answer except for the center part. Now, if you're having a hard time understanding how I did that here, I'm going to do a different way of doing this, and maybe this will help you. I hope it does. I kind of prefer to do it this way. That's kind of why I recommended getting a couple colored pencils. But let me go back to my pen and let me choose a color like light. No, let's go with blue. So let's talk about what A complement is. A complement would be everything on the outside of this A. So that would be here, just like that. Okay, that's A complement. And then my B complement, we'll make purple, is going to be everything outside of B. Okay, so that actually is going to be in here. And not in there. There we go. All right. All right, so now we're talking about union, which means that we would have to put both of these things together. So anything that has blue is in the set, anything that has purple is in the set, anything that has both, they're in the set. And you can notice the only thing that's not is going to be right in the center there with Abe, Braden, and John. Now notice if this was an intersect, we would actually be looking for where there is both purple and blue going on. We haven't quite gotten there yet. I'm going to pause this video and we'll have a part 2 to this one.